Hunter believing in them. T as well. So what I'm going to ask you to make a good case for BRAME's lineup.
Yeah, well, I mean, personally, I would say the BRAME's going to take this anyway.
Okay.
I do agree. I think No Bounty Hunter does have the better draft. I just think, especially from what we've seen from BRAME on boot camp, that their play as a team is better. I think they are going to be able to fall back on this Morphling. This Morphling is going to be able to carry them through the later stages. And whilst they do have some of these late game kill potentials against the Morph, I think the execution is going to be rather difficult for No Bounty Hunter to do it flawlessly against BRAME. I think BRAME's going to be prepared for it, and their team fight just seems a whole lot better. So I think great draft for No Bounty Hunter, but BRAME, skill-wise, play-wise, I think BRAME's going to take this game.
All right, let's see how this first game of this best-of-3 series is going to play itself out, and hear the voices of Cap and Purge.
That's right. Thank you, Shiver. Purge and I will be leading you through one of the last games of the European lower division. No Bounty Hunter and BRAME are both fighting to be able to go to the upper division. There are two other teams who are in contention for that top spot. It's also Creepwave and Hellbear Smashers. And unfortunately for No Bounty Hunter, they are the only team of these four that currently has 2 losses. So in order to get to the upper division, they have to pull somebody else down and hope that Hellbear Smashers also receives a loss so they can go in tiebreakers. BRAME starting off with the 5-man movement doesn't result in
30 seconds to battle.
Basically nothing accomplished other than some map control words that'll help them scout out lanes to spot the Earth Spirit in the bot lane, and that's about it. I think the fact that Enigma should be able to play the lane semi-standard should help No Bounty Hunter at least, because they can be able to decrease a lot of the farm potential that the enemy cores get, but I'm quite sure yet. Yeah, it looks like Morphling will be mid, it'll be IO same way. That could be really good. IO kind of struggles a little bit against some offlaners, low base damage, so against Enigma, he might have a lot of trouble getting as much farm as he wants.
Looking to be able to run it down. They could not get in front of Desire's roll away on the Earth Spirit, so they will sadly miss out on that kill. But at least for now, anyway. We'll see if Desire can somehow juke this one out. Should be good now. He's got a clear left here, which, yeah, where he's going to roll away to. So he's just creating a little bit of chaos. I don't know about you, Purge, but I have really been enjoying watching Desire play this 4 position, especially on these heroes like Earth Spirit, these like more roaming, playmaking type 4s. I think he is just fantastic.
He is, yeah, he makes a lot of good plays consistently here. Very impactful, strong laning stage. Just keep opponents busy. You can see how he does this game, but I expect it'll be a lot of the same.
Blake doing a really good job pulling the wave back with
that's mine.
Obviously converting some early creeps, so they're going to be missing out on the experience. That's a big problem. You were talking about how important Enigma is to be able to lessen the farm of a carry in an IO lineup especially, right? Because they always play with the support in lane. You don't ever really just leave the IO alone. He's never really getting solo experience because you've got to make use of that tether. So if they're sharing the experience and getting creeps denied constantly, this is really going to suck.
Yeah, it is for sure. Typically, IO ends up going to mid lane. You get all these extra levels that helps you accelerate into like jungle farming. But yeah, if you're splitting experience and getting less EXP and less hits than normal, they could definitely really affect his ability to perform. Whereas on the other side, it's Lycan. He's laning against the Phoenix and a Mars. Like, yeah, he's a possibility to get killed, but we know he's going to have decent levels, and he's going to get timings and be a threat.
It's too much. The physical damage overwhelms him. Focus gets the first blood and wins the mid lane matchup. A huge win for BRAME.
Oh, that's not good. You do not want to get solo killed. And maybe one of the reasons we don't see Ember as much, but he can't defend himself well. That's the problem.
Yeah. We've seen a fair number of teams take advantage of some of these mid matchups where people draft some of these spirit heroes or something that is a little bit exposed to the mid.
Basically, all you can do against Morphling is damage him so that he has to morph higher strength, so his base damage isn't as high, but Ember can't really harass him that easily. And even if you do, he's already got really high armor built in, so the sleight of fist damage isn't quite as effective. And every time you go into melee range, he's going to attack you like 4 times and deal a lot more damage back to you. So kind of a hard matchup here, especially with the fast double Wraith Band on Morphling. All this extra armor is really going to pay off for these little harassment bits conducting. Fight bottom.
Yeah, they're actually trying to really put some pressure on Blink, but Spartan is potentially the one who's going to go down there. The Fairy Fire does go off, and he gets a healing salve. Put on himself rather than Wish.
Oh, look at it go!
But that's actually a really nice cast into Maledic there from Flash with the Wolves coming out as well. Just put in a bit of extra damage on Snowman while he does not have the dive up. Certainly not going to die to this, but he may have to pop his salve to feed.
By bottom is pretty cool. It can basically do Malefist into roll and then punch back under tower. It actually gives him decent kill options here. You know, on Wish, separate the tether.
Oh,
Nope,
nice,
connected.
but the tether is back up, so Wish was able to jump away again. But good damage. Roll in. Uh-oh, Flash is going to be in some trouble here. Khan is going to try and help him out. He does manage to kill a courier, and is going to try and put the damage on a Skylark. But Snowman, he's got the fire spirits, and if anything, Khan is also going to die. Oh no, Kevin, this laning phase, it is not going well for no bounty hunter.
A lot of damage in between Witch Doctor and Lycan. They're pretty slow here. Wish in trouble, maybe. Spartan kind of low too, but just more harassment to keep these guys low and lower their chance of being able to contest this lane. They're doing a decent job killing Eidolons though so far, but you know, there's bad stuff going on in the mid lane too. Morphling still owning 24 and 15 on him versus 15 and 11 on Earthspirit. He's gonna get a bottle refill by his Witch Doctor. Very needed here. Do not get the rune. But at least he's getting his levels, and for rotating around is certainly going to be necessary here to try to stabilize some of these other lanes.
Now, one of the reasons our panel was leading so heavily to no bounty hunters, they felt like they were just going to have a very strong timing. Oh, snowball dodge, Wish, a little bit of tether movement speed, he's going to get him out. And he starts healing, salving up. Spartan cannot really fight back even by himself with the tag team. Eidolons being a bit still though. They are managing to barely avoid these deaths in bottom lane.
They should be fine now, though. They've got the Helm of Iron Will. This is like one of the best early game sustain items you can have right now. 5 armor, 5 HP, of health, and a better chainmail. So, like his ability to die now against heavily physical damage, just much, much lower. So they're kind of past the hardest point. Maybe they'll go on Blink, though. He's in trouble. A lot of damage.
Yeah, Blink being left alone in this lane, and surprisingly, they've killed so many Eidolons and now got the kill on the Enigma that they actually have the higher levels. Dominant, try to finish off Flash. He's going to turn around, throw out the cast. He will end up dying here, and Snowman may get chased down by the wolves, but it's going to take a while in order to get this kill. He's going to try and sunray his way out of here with a Kiki out. Nicely played. That was a cool little move there. Just the extra sunray gave it him this tomato.
Yeah. I don't think I would have considered doing that. I would have thought, oh, I'm going to attack like 3 times and die for sure. But like the Sunray movement speed is about the same as this no boots pattern here, so good for them. Enigma ended up dying because Tusk basically wrapped around, got behind him, had the Observer Ward, so he was able to spot the support wasn't there. So that was pretty effective here. He wished a little bit more head.
Oh, Purge. Focus just got a double damage route now.
Oh.
All right, this lane feels kind of over for Ducky. I'm not sure what more he...
Jungle. It's one of those good moments where you catch up a little bit. They're going to go for a kill, though. This gets spotted up in the ward. Ooh, good catch.
He's stuck. He's going to try and slice to increase the survivability here. The cast is going to go down onto 2, but they've got more backups. Snowman is here as well. He'll chase away Flash, and they will escape together. Oh, that's a caster's curse right there, Purge. What more can he do? He can go juggle. Oh, can't even do that. BRAME are just relentless.
Dire structures are fortified.
Friend's doing really good. That ice charge was excellent. No way they can kill him. Now Flash 2, 4-shot. It's going to be close.
A double damage. Spartan's coming in. He's got the shard. He's going to cancel that healing spell and focus on a killing spree. Docky is desperate just to finish up his level 6 so he can maybe move around the map a little bit, but BRAME seems to be 3 or 4 steps ahead.
Yeah, move or not die, either would be good, because once he gets his ulti, his ability to die it's really low. They don't have very good disables until like Mars shows up and ganks him, but yeah, the fact that this has been delayed so much is certainly going to hurt their timing, especially with Morphling picking up level 8 before he gets his own 6. Ugh.
Yeah. Pretty yikes. We've got Mars almost getting his level 7 about the same time that Lycan's going to have his level 6. Blink, we talked about him being able to deny experience. They're going to go into Wish here, and actually that's a ton of damage. All those Eidolons, you cannot ignore them, especially when they've split already. Spartan He could get chased down here, roll in for another 3 seconds. That Malphus is up, but now siding against.
It's the Necro one as well, actually. He had all of his summons there. I felt like the snowball on the IO was a little bit of a mistake. It felt weird at the moment. Like, yeah, you get an extra 20 damage to get him in there, but then, like, he doesn't get to space the way that he necessarily wants to. So,
look at
and it
him
looks
go.
like he may just die again here.
We kill 8-1, 3,000 network.
BRAME is only 3k gold advantage, this many kills on the board. I mean, Skylark's rushing for fast Yules here just so he can do easy setups on the Ember Spirit to make
Dire's
that
middle
kill
tower is
more
under
possible
attack.
to do, but he hasn't had a bad lane at all. 2 kills on him, 57 and 19. Just everything going great for BRAME. The only
Radiant
person that's a
are
little
scanning.
shut down is the IO because he's been struggling slightly, but like it's not bad enough for them to feel really worried about how this game is.
The Lycan getting really strong. They said, one of the things they said is they did not address the Lycan and Duff as well as they were hoping. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, they will be able to run at their opponents. I mean, you're seeing some remnants that on the opposite side of the map too with the all the Enigma summons. They don't have very good AoE, so it's kind of hard when the fight starts. All the summons are going to run one guy down and beat him up. One solution they do have, Mars ulti, could keep them semi-trapped at least. Things killing their backline, that kind of thing. But for heroes, I don't think Morphling's going to have any trouble with that effectively. He's going to be able to just go hit his targets. He's going to go for fast manta this game. That way the disables are less of a problem. So he basically just won't have to worry about steering chains at least. Skylark trying to get a kill here. Top maybe. Thinking about it.
Kind of hovering around there, but not quite going for it.
They've also got ice shards too as a solution against some of the summons. They have some ways to mitigate the rundown, but they aren't really good ones. But hey, at least they have the gold advantage. That's one way to do it.
Run, Flash, run! Oh no, he's gonna get cast, and that cast is gonna lead to a spear, and that spear is gonna lead to his
So I thought one thing I thought was kind of interesting about the patch was the changes to Morphling were in some ways a nerf, in some ways a buff. Like in this case, it's slightly better. Your Morph level 1 is a lower cooldown than it was before. So kind of fun to see those like little changes. Morph is still good. Obviously the Earthshaker combo's less good, but
Rolling on out and immediately being assaulted by all of this. They're going to go for the Supernova. They're going to commit for the kill with the Eidolons and will manage to get him, especially with their ultimate here. It's still out. Oh, Wish, and now the Black Hole is going to turn things around as Docky has finally made his big rotation. He's going to show up to buoy this fight into the favor of No Bounty Hunter. They're going to run down everybody of BRAME down here in the bottom lane. First big success for No Bounty Hunter.
great place there. Instantly turns when he realizes the moment looks good. If the Ice Shark catches him and doesn't allow him to get away as far, maybe that's a very different fight, but they just couldn't fight all the way through that chase. Way too many summons once again. And this has kind of been the story. We haven't necessarily seen the, man, all this stuff is already into the problem. It's more like they think that they're doing completely fine, and then they realize they're in the middle of all this stuff that's killing them. They end up getting killed anyways. So we are still seeing sort of a remnant of what we expected. With all this, all the summons things. They just aren't clearing them fast enough unless Mars is there.
Yeah, it definitely feels like the BRAME's best defense against all of his stuff is just playing around each other, right? This IO's gonna get run down unless he's around that
Dire's
Mars
middle tower is
you know,
under
like
attack.
the Mars Ultimate. Especially, I feel like whenever I'm playing support, I love the Mars Ultimate against lineups like this because I just play around the wall constantly. You know, as long as the enemy doesn't have BKB, I can play around the wall, go to either side of it, depending on what pressure is put on me, and that's kind of like what BRAME's going to have to do.
Yeah, well, and they're slightly losing their gold advantage, but they are still aiming towards decent timing. Sportling doesn't quite have his manta yet, but he's getting there.
Relocate in. First big relocate, they're going to go for the Fuel Scepter. Oh no, the Malefice from behind stopped them from getting the spear timing. Dockie's going to be able to get away. Now the arena's gone. They're going to try and run down Wish. 4 seconds left for him to relocate back, but it's 4 seconds too late as he gets rolled over. Speaking of rolled over, there goes Skylark. Gets bounced on by Desire. Spartan's going to go for the TP out. No, Desire's on the mark for yet another roll-in. Again, another lost team fight in the safe lane. BRAME just refusing to give up this area of the map and will pay the price for it.
Yeah, this is one of those like really feels bad moments, I think, for BRAME. Like they effectively
middle
were stopping their
tower is
laning
under
stage,
attack.
but then a couple engagements like this that got close to going well and just didn't in the end. And now they've given up a lot of net worth advantage. They're still winning slightly, but it's looking more and more dangerous to me because this mid-game timing is starting to hit really hard. Like Enigma's approaching BKB. He still needs about 2,000 gold, but like once he gets that picked up, he just doesn't die anymore.
Yeah, that was something that, like, when they were talking about last picks, one thing they were concerned about is, okay, Lycan falls off. Like, this is a hero that, like, will not hard carry the way that a Morph. So, do they have any late game threat? And they go ahead and pick up the Enigma, right? Instead of doing 3 Lycan, they go for a 1 Lycan with
Dire's top
game
tower
off
is
laner.
under attack.
Do you think that this Enigma, especially given this BKB, like, do you think he'll be able to keep this game going past, like, 30? Or is No Bounty Hunter still kind of on a time?
It's definitely going to make a big difference. Like, not only does it map pressure well, but there's a lot of cores I feel like on the BRAME side that are relatively straightforward to Black Hole. Mars is sometimes dangerous because of the fact that, you know, he can initiate on you and vice versa, but I mean, Morphling, I would say like tough IO especially. IO feels not that difficult to Black Hole at all. Lots of raw HP. He doesn't really stun you or prevent you from setting up on him as hard. So it's like, it just feels like Enigma getting his BKB and Blink Dagger at a decent time is just going to offset a lot of the team fight advantage that BRAME has going for them with the Phoenix ulti. So yeah, he just doesn't have a lot of counters. So when he does pop BKB, so those Black Holes are going to add up a lot of crucial kills over the course of the lake.
They certainly. Just trying to think, like, the counters they have to stopping BKB Black Holes, Supernova Explosion, and
Walrus Punch. All he needs to do is get 8 broom handles and then punch him from outside the black hole radius, and then it's gonna work.
Sounds reasonable. Sounds reasonable. Blink be caught here. He does have the black hole, but he's been maleficent, so that makes things a lot harder. Good play by that was nice.
Make some babies, some Morphling babies.
Oh yeah, good way to get some extra farm without actually having to be in lane. As they're going to make a play on the other side of the map here. No Bounty Hunter. They've caught Skylark. Skylark is going to try and throw out the wall to defend himself here, but Earth Spear can't roll through the wall. It does so. Easily a turnaround spear onto Lycan, but eventually he does die, and the Earth Spirit rolls away just before Focus could finish him off. So they do manage to get that kill and get out.
Focus is doing a great job here. Wish taking some damage, he'll be fine. Malefice misses. But the fact that he is a mid-Morphling, he had to go Manta out of necessity, and it does actually feel like he's a rotational mid-hero so far this game. It's not easy to do this. It's very like right-click based. You have to like right-click something like 5 times and wait for it behind him. He'll be fine here. He's got Manta if he really needs it.
Hovering around the area. They do have a lot of percentage-based damage between Maledict and Midnight Pulse.
They actually don't have Pulse yet. He hasn't skilled it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
a little weird.
Throw late. They're not going to catch him before the strength, but they still have an opportunity. They go for the ball, but the snowball was already out there. So Blink, he wasn't going to be able to hold it for long. Focus still has the Maledict on him. The Sunray heal. It looks like it's going to be enough, but a jump in from Desire could stop that Sunray. They go ahead and pop the Supernova. Oh, Desire, can he roll out? No, this time around he's going to be denied that by Spark. Gets in front of him, keeps Desire does die.
There's the nice counter that they have to Black Hole. It's the snowball. If you just use it early enough, you get this like 3-second window saying, go ahead, Black Hole. Because if you do, I'm going to interrupt it. And didn't pop it quite fast enough, hesitated, then throws it down and was like, oh. Morphling ends up barely staying alive with huge heals from his team, and they're going to make a ping approach for Roche. No Black Hole in the enemy squad. Lycan ulti is almost up, so that could be used here, but they've got a huge amount of damage with tag team, so
they're going to smoke up.
Dead.
Can they get there in time, or if they can't get there in time for the Roche shot, can they take a team fight here? The Wolves, they're They're going to scout things out. They're actually already here. The Roshan's not dead just yet. Flash throws out the cast, does bounce around, hits that IO. You can see Lycan immediately running for that Tiger. Meanwhile, Desire, though, he got flown on his side, but it looks like Daki's going to be able to get some good damage out here as Skylark tries to finish him off with the Slight, not able to do quite enough. Flash inside of the pit, really good positioning by him. His Death Ward pumps out some damage onto the
Radiant's
Warplane. It
middle
looks like
tower
BRAME
is under
are going to
attack.
have a hard time re-engaging, especially with Stoneman. Actually, still
Roshan
dying
has
to the
fallen
Necro Books.
to the
They
dark.
kill they kill the Roshan, pick up the Aegis for Daki. No bounty hunter, get there just in the nick of time.
Yeah, that was really close. Really well done there to show up in time. Morphling did his best to do damage. He turned into an Ember Spirit. He gets a slight chains, but at that point there was just, again, the run at you
Radiant's
was way
middle
too strong.
tower is
Just
under
way
attack.
too many summons to clear through. Mars dropped his ultimate down, but just too much stuff. They can't clear it in time.
BRAME, they've been
Radiant's
given
middle tower
a
is
new
fallen.
lease on life because they have received an early loss to Berjui, which was kind of screwing up their standings, but thanks to the forfeit of Berjui, they are now currently sitting at only one loss, 5-1. If they can manage to win this, then they guarantee themselves at least in a tiebreaker for top 2, all depending Hellbear Smashers, Spider Pigs matchup. But they got to be able to bring down No Bounty Hunter first. And despite having an early lead in the laning phase, things are beginning to against them.
They are a little. Enigma does pick up his BKB though, just been sitting on Necro 1 this game, didn't need to go all the way to Necro 3. Kind of a smart way to adjust in circumstance, but now with the Aegis on the enemy lineup, things are looking harder. The guy you want to kill is certainly Ducky, playing Ember Spirit this game. So survivability to damage ratio is the easiest to pick off, but
Dire are scanning.
all the big items are coming for No Bounty Hunter. We've
Dire's
even got,
bottom
yeah,
tower
Spirit Vessel
is
picked
under
up now
attack.
for Earth Spirit too, so it's going to be really hard for Io to play his game. But so far, I just feel like Io Core just doesn't feel that good unless you're like really ahead. And even then, it feels like still kind of
Dire's
mediocre to
bottom
me.
tower
He's
is
1-3 and 0
under
right now. He's pressured in lane. He's got lots of items. His net worth is good, but I just don't feel the impact in the laning stage. And he certainly isn't that great at dealing with illusions because the spirits, unless like the summons, unless they're standing next to heroes, like you just can't kill them fast.
No, I totally agree. I think we have like come to this conclusion as a whole. It's like core IO, its timings are like very weird and it can't seem to do very much against certain lineups. Certainly surprised me. Mid to the
Dire's
IO.
top tower is under attack.
That's where No Bounty Hunter felt like it was a good time to run this early Lycan thing. Now they are looking at an AC for the Lycan. Like huge timings all around for No Bounty Hunter.
Ooh, Mars Invis gets spotted briefly with that sentry getting placed down. No Bounty Hunter is aware of this.
Radiant's
Picking up
bottom
to
tower is under
destroy
attack.
this tower in a couple of volleys of attacks, but Smoke's on the back line.
Coming around.
Radiant
He
structures
does have
are
that Aegis.
fortified.
Oh, missed the spear,
Radiant's bottom
Skylark.
tower is under
This
attack.
is his opportunity to, for really no commitment, could have been able to take down that Aegis.
Yeah. He couldn't commit his full ult lead. If he does, that's just Aegis. Then their opponents get to go forward. They can clean up
Radiant's
some
bottom
Necros on the
tower
back
is under
line here.
attack.
Tower's instantly dead here.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Spartan in a good spot, though. He could counter-initiate if a fight ends up happening, but very unlikely that they're going to keep pushing here. More likely they'll just reset, farm out the map a bit since they got their objective. Could take Shrine as well, but it's a long time until the next game, so for now, not a big deal.
Yeah, it's looking like Flash is just taking for the map control. BRAME really feels comfortable running over there just yet. Skylark continuing to deal with the Lycan army where he can.
Scold when they can, but without BKB on Mars, he's still going to have a little bit of issues initiating without a Blink Dagger. I don't blame him for not getting Blink here. He's going to go in actually.
The spear onto the Enigma with the roll into the snowball. This Enigma is already dead. Nobody can actually go off in time. Barely goes off with one hit left to go. And this is disaster for No Bounty Hunter. Skylight Mars, the most beautiful initiation. The self-fuel scepter on. Oh, he's out of remnants actually. I thought maybe he was going to be okay. He's just got this last one, but the snowball's going to catch up to him. I think he needs a few more seconds, 13 more seconds until another remnant. That's just not going to be good enough. BRAME. Huge initiation by Skylark, and they just crush No Bounty Hunter as a result.
I definitely felt like a level 2 egg there. Great fight. Jumps in, spears back the Enigma before his BKB gets popped. Therefore, he can't counter-initiate in any way. The Lycan did his best to kill the egg, but I mean, maybe wolves don't need armor, but they definitely need agility gain more than they had there, because he could not kill the egg in time by himself.
Yeah. No, he was all struggling real hard. Great roll up by Stoneman. A nice waveform forward to be able to deny that roll away from Desire. Now the paralyzing cast is going to put some pressure on Stoneman. Is able to dive himself away. BKB going to be activated by Focus. He really does not want to be Malphus into a black hole right now. Will manage to waveform away. Skylark is there to kind of escort him out to safety. No Bounty Hunter struggling. They're hoping that was an opportunity to be able to turn the fates back around, but sadly no.
Definitely dangerous when your mana gets that low as a Morphling. That's why this BKB is so important, because if he does get hit a few too many times and he's that many, he's a great right clicker, and obviously he can stay alive, but he's pretty slow. Very easy to take down. So 5k gold advantage now with BRAME winning that team fight. Really good for them. Finally getting some ground on the map. Curious to see what Io gets next. He's picked up a BKB now to solve some of those disabled problems. Now queuing up a Sanj Kaya to increase his status resistance to spell lamp to do more damage. And once he gets 20, things get a lot stronger for him as well. Cinder Spirits are going to do way more damage, from 90 damage to 150. That's when this impact's going to be a lot harder.
Yeah, and then it feels like from there on out, with as a core, his impact continues to be pretty relevant. I feel like he's got some weird timing where it's like at level 10, he's super strong with his Helmet Dominator in some fights, and then level 20 to level 20, he feels really good.
Yeah, and still his net worth has still been amazing. He's above Lycan in terms of farm potential. So, net worth is always going to make up for inadequacies in your hero. So if they can just keep this game going, win occasional fights like this, BRAME can certainly still take the win here. They've gotten past the most dangerous part of the game for sure, especially now that they have BKB.
It means it's time for No Bounty Hunter to be able to clutch something here. They've grouped up for smoke play, but I believe they've been scouted by that scan. They're going to back away to their high ground, to their triangle.
On all these islands, he's like, wait, this is suspicious. Wow, look at this sentry. Almost catches all these wards here from BRAME. This observer, I don't think I've ever seen a ward placed in that spot before. Does get spotted by the Necro, unfortunately.
They miss, they kill some wards, but that's all they're really going to get out of this backup, and look
that was
to
good
try again.
Gold for
That was all of the observer wards for BRAME at the moment, so the map is controlled effectively. Skylark will be the one to move out a little bit here, just to try to counteract things. Stable, most likely. He can always heal himself.
Next try with the Maledicted, just throw down the Death Ward. Yule Scepter is going to be able to stop a little bit here, and he's going to manage to get out the arena with the black hole. They caught out on 3, but the Supernova is still down. Standing with this fight, they just don't feel comfortable going into the Supernova. Sadly, Donkey's going to come back in, maybe try to clean things up, but Spartan was inside the snowball for so long. Now Khan trying to kill him, and they do finally get him. A buyback as Donkey comes back into this team fight with a roll in from the Earth Spirits. They're going to go for Strowman in here, see if they can chase down this Phoenix while Donkey plays inside. Roll over to the side here from Desire. Now they look to be able to chase down Wish, but Wish quickly jumps over and relocates out onto the board fling. They're going to reset and get away here.
Nicely done. Io transitioning to tethering Morphling to amplify his attack speed, giving him spell amp, all this good stuff. They're going to go back, but yeah, I don't think they want to fight the two cores like this. And ultimately, like a pretty good black hole. I mean, they basically got to react upon what Mars was doing, which was him getting out of position and punished. But ultimately, the egg was enough, and Morphling getting on top of him, he was able to get to the backside of Enigma there, do a lot of physical damage, and ultimately pick him off. No E-Blade this game, but it's a great. He's been itemizing awesome. Like, he is just a really strong right clicker here. There aren't any heroes on the enemy squad that can stand toe-to-toe to him. And that's one of the downsides to picking a Lycan carry, is that if Morphling does just go heavy right click here, he's going to be stronger than you.
We're going to watch this one again. Look how close that black hole is going to be to the Phoenix. He gets off the Supernova, I think, just after the black hole, so he might have actually been outside of the range. What a huge difference it is, because the Lycan can't really go in until after the Supernova fades. Maybe Ember Spirit can play around in that team fight while the Supernova's going down. content that he can dodge the stun, but the Lycan doesn't have those same kind of options.
Yeah. And interestingly, after Lycan got put in that bad position, he still was able to pick up the Phoenix after that Yules that got used on him. So he still got to accomplish some things for sure, but decent fight. BRAME's going to go for Roche again. There are a lot of summons in the area. Surely no bounty hunter can scout this out, but with all their heroes on the bot side of the map and no black hole, they'd have to make another run across the map to get this one. And I think finally BRAME's going to get their first Aegis.
Hey, Turch, what do you think
Radiant's
about
bottom tower
Lycan's
is under
Aegis
attack.
shard, or Aghanim shard, rather?
It's people are buying it a decent amount. I mean, it does do a lot of damage. It pushes the lane and pressures the map. Like it's one of those, like it's too expensive to put in an Ags for sure. But the fact that it's a shard, the cost benefit is decent. I think it just like ups the tempo and like gives your team a better chance to close things out. Like that, it just feels like Lycan knows he's falling off, and that's why teams like buying this, because they got to keep the pressure on the map. Otherwise, they're going to lose the game.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to find an opening here on the Spartan now. Focus immediately jumps in because there is going to be the Supernova. They're trying to retreat here, but a nice two-man change coming out from Focus. Meanwhile, on the downside, they have Desire pinned up against the tree. He's going to go for a kick away, roll on out off the map, but he's still going to be chased down. They only get that support there off of buyback. Nope, never mind. They get flash as well. Focus able to run him down through the waveform. So a 2-for-1 trade. It does cost BRAME a buyback here, but ultimately, Focus, he feels like the raid boss, 10-0-6.
Radiant's
He
middle
is
tower is
owning
under
this.
attack.
He is, and he got a Titan Sliver too, like the perfect Morphling item.
Oh, yeah.
All of the agility you have, just 20% more damage.
Dire's
Like a
bottom
free 50
tower
damage
is under
item at tier
attack.
3. Look at the tower dying. Holy
Dire's
crap.
structures are
We got
fortified.
Butterfly. He's queuing up a Daedalus, and then he's like, oh, I'm going to buy Satanic. He's so confident. He's like, oh, I'll give 2 items now. Because I know I am
Dire's
not dying in this
bottom
game.
tower has
Which
fallen.
is true, basically. The
Radiant's
BKB
top tower
solidified
is
his
under
safety
attack.
against all the mana drain summons, which would have guaranteed his demise if he gets
Dire's
mana burned all the
bottom
way.
tower
And
is
now
under
with
attack.
Butterfly, he's covered against all the physical damage from summons who can't buy MKB.
Radiant's
So while
top
Enigma was a
tower
great
is
pick here,
under attack.
Khan in trouble.
Oh, they're going to be able to get the long range spear pin onto the Lycan. And this is going to be one of the first times that it feels like BRAME is asserting some map control. They're actually getting onto no bounty hunter side of the map, which really starts beginning to spell doomsday
Radiant's
for no
top
bounty
tower
hunter,
is
right? It's
under
like they
attack.
were kind of playing for being on BRAME's side of the map and just finally getting that one big team. With one team fight, boom, they're able to immediately go high
Radiant's
ground. But
top tower is
now
under attack.
they've lost all semblance of map control.
Yep, things look
The
rough.
Dire's
This-
structures are
Especially with
fortified.
Morphling being amplified by Io. Ugh. When they hit 25 as well, I don't see Io not getting attack tethered allies target. Like the damage is going to be insane.
Radiant's top tower is
Maledict on him.
fallen.
Focus doesn't
Dire's
seem to care
bottom
about it
tower
at
is
all.
under
He's
attack.
still got 2.5 minutes for the Aegis.
Trickster's rule of illusion.
God, this damage is so high.
Trying to slow him down until Lycan's back up in 5
Dire's bottom
seconds.
tower is under
But it's
attack.
probably going to cost him tier 3. Now we'll see if
Dire's
BRAME
bottom
is going to
tower
back
has
up or if they're
fallen.
going to try and actually keep going here. Yeah, they're going to choose to back up. Play it safe. The Lycan is coming over from the side here. Separated from his allies.
Dire's
Discounted
middle
by
tower
Wish.
is under
and
attack.
extended.
I think having the Morphling core in combo with the Io core is really what makes this strategy look good, honestly. Because Morphling obviously is having an excellent game, but being
Dire's
amplified
middle tower
by
has fallen.
Io core just makes his hero look so much stronger in these tower push moments. Like, how do you fight into this? You can't kill the Io either, so he just sits here and hits buildings, and you got to force a bad team fight for. No bounty hunter's gonna have to commit to something to try to slow this down, and it's basically the best option is what Black Hole, but it's not easy to hit the backline.
Glimmer. It's not going to save it. BRAME, they are forcing this issue now as to be kind of expected. They're still having a minute left on the Aegis, and I don't think no bounty hunter really wants to take that team fight.
Dire's bottom
They may
barracks
just have to
is
give
fallen.
up on at
Dire's
least one
bottom
lane of barracks,
barracks
if not
is
2. They still got another full minute. Khan's going to be forcing the BKB. That makes things even worse, even more likely that they're going to have to give up 2 lanes of barracks unless they can find an opening here on the side, somewhere away from the Morphling. Wish doesn't actually get a tether away. The arena does go down, just preventing
Radiant's top
Okazaki
tower
being
is
slowed down
under
here. Does manage to get a remnant over to the other side. Spartan, oh, he
Gets him.
took out Blink. Just one walrus punch, and he nailed it. The Enigma is down. Does have 5 minutes Blink. Desire's going to go ahead and use his. Docky's going to be able to get away. There goes the Aegis, and Wish is a little bit low. Khan no longer has his shapeshift form. He has to be able to dodge the spear potentially as he's going to get pinned up. Fortunately, there is going to be the change. Oh, here comes Blink. He's got the black hole with the Death Lord. This is going to be a reload. No, they actually don't have the reload chain out. Now they're going to be able to catch Witch as well. They're going to be run down here. They're going to pop the cheese onto Wish, but he's surrounded
Radiant's
by
middle tower
no
is
bounty
under
hunter.
attack.
There's no way for him to be able to get out of this one. BRAME, they lose control. They do lose that team fight, and no bounty
Radiant's
hunter.
middle
They still
tower
have a
is
chance
under
here.
attack.
Yeah, they tried to relocate, but he tethered a little bit too early, ends up getting caught in the black hole radius, and that's what saved that fight for no bounty hunter. But it did cost him 2 buybacks. That was Earth Spirit and Enigma jumping into the game. But ultimately, the BRAME lineup, you can see what it's doing now, right? Morphling hits buildings. Io can just poke people with spirits. He's trying to force BKBs. He's trying to
Radiant's
keep them low.
middle tower
That way they
is
have
under
no
attack.
confident ability to fight anyways. And it worked for a while there, but eventually they're able to get out of their base. They're able to black hole the Morphling. Maledict's on top. He was not morphing strength either here. So through all of their
Radiant's
ultimates on
middle
him to
tower
get him
has
kills, here
fallen.
comes the relocate. But yeah.
Radiant's
Oh,
middle tower is under attack.
Great positioning for the black hole. A little bit farther back. They hit Morphling out. That's terrible.
Back into the game, and Earth Spirit is going to get caught. Donkey ends up going down. Kind of a Yule Scepter Spear combination. Now Spartan is going to trade out his life for this one as he tried to kind of initiate here. Desire's going to roll. Whoa, no, he doesn't. He got bashed? What?
Oh,
Skylar has a basher.
Radiant's middle
Okay,
tower
Desire
is
still
fallen.
able to get out. That was pretty comical. Focus?
So sick. He wants a black hole solution. That's why he's buying this. I mean, you
Yeah.
can bash with God's Rebuke, and the range is pretty long. Like if you're on the right side, I think you probably can bash stun Enigma. It's a 25% chance. It's not that bad, and it's a decent damage item. It's 35 damage here from Mars. It's kind of cool. And once he gets Abyssal, obviously much easier to deal with the Enigma.
Yeah, which means Blink is not going to be going to Lincoln, so it kind of feels like they have to make a really big move in the next couple of minutes. Because if they get that Abyssal Blade, that just like de facto counter, I'm not sure what batting at it. Like they have to catch the Mars every time in that team. Hard to play the game.
Well, he doesn't have a blink though on Skylar, so you can't
Dire's
position
middle
super
tower
easily.
has
If you get the
fallen.
black hole like towards him, he can't necessarily Abyssal into range. There are some restrictions there.
Roll on in. Gonna kick him back. Well, he still has the Maledict down with the cast. They're actually going to be able to keep him chain stun for quite some time. And it's going to force out a lot from BRAME to make sure he's okay. The Supernova now being down. No bounty hunter. They have a chance to be able to re-engage, especially with Docky about back in.
Be really careful there. They get him to pop the big ultis, and they lose the tier 3 tower, but their melee break still is alive, so I don't think they're too worried. Just both teams playing it pretty carefully there.
Radiant are scanning.
Morbid Mass or Morphling now has a better option for sustain, but his problem is it's not really sustain, right? It's just being all in by the black hole.
Yeah. This is scary. Like I don't think I've seen a Morphling with the Daedalus in a really long time, if ever. And it hit with the crits. He's hitting for like 500 without a rapier, and then he can crit on top of that. It's insane.
Oh, they have
once he
another option. They've got
Done.
Scotty
Scan.
now for Khan, so he's a lot more effective
Okay.
against them.
That is a weird item for Lycan, but yeah, great option. Against range heroes, what, 40% slow, I'm sorry, 50% movement and attack speed slow with 40% anti-regen.
And Skylark, he doesn't have a blink to be able to get away, so that paralyzing cast was going to be true. He had an option, maybe pop the BKB, and he also, Purge, he just bought out. He bought his Abyssal Blade recipe. He does not have enough for buyback just.
Okay, so they get an opportunity to go high ground. I mean, I thought he was going to be fine there, but they chain stunned him perfectly between Malefice, which is actually a decent stun with the talent, 1.35 seconds, cast and the rolling boulder. That was enough. He looks squishy when they go on him like that.
The unfortunate part for no bounty hunters, they didn't want to go high ground because they're like, but he might have buyback.
Radiant's
Plus,
courier
Roshan
has
could
been
be up.
killed.
Let's secure Roshan, guys. Not up for another.
Yeah, that one's a little rough there. But no bounty hunter learning to poke with their heroes a little bit. They're finding some ways they can get kills. They have options. Enigma's getting close to his Octarine core, wants to lower the cooldown of Black Hole. hasn't bought a shard. We all thought like Black Hole Shard was the best one when it came up, but nobody buys it anymore. They gave up on it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things that, from my experience anyway, it feels like I want so many other items. They're going to roll on out here. Spartan does have the vision on high for the BKB. He's even going to be popped here. Spartan man stepped a tad bit too far. He's immediately going to go down, but he pulls back. Oh, again, the Supernova. They're going to hold in for the wisp here, but the Supernova is going to explode, catching some of no bounty hunter. Is quickly down with the arena going out. Sigma is immediately going to be dying with his Sunray on out on top of Slayer. He's dead. That's more than no buyback. And Daki on the run here with a relocate forward. They're going to scout him. He doesn't have rented up for another 7 seconds. He's going to die as well here. No bounty hunter. They all in for that team fight. But Stomanen, again and again and again, he has been the man to counter Blink. Supernova, well-timed, catches no bounty hunter with a full 4-man stun.
That was so good. And then as they're about to run away, then the Mars ulti comes in, traps them all, and then Morphling's behind that, just auto-attacking everybody down. That was like an absolute nightmare for no bounty hunter. They've got some buybacks on the Radiant team that they just used, so hypothetically, they can maybe win a fight, but they got to defend their base right now, and it's not looking good.
It is not looking good at all. The Shivas looking to slow him down. The cast is going to bounce around a little bit, but he's got 30 seconds. Spartan, he wants to be able to kill Flash here to make sure that the cast doesn't slow them down any further. That kill should be able to get it. Jumping around, the Ember Spirit, just hoping to be able to get somebody here, but it's just not going to happen. They're going to hit the throat. They're going to ignore him, and that is one in the bag for BRAME. One step closer to making upper division.
They made it work. Their lineup had some weaknesses. The Lycan summons were scary in those early mid-game fights. Yeah, the rundown was intense, but they stabilized enough. Mostly some really crucial team fights from the Phoenix. The eggs at very crucial moments helped offset the team fight disadvantage there. And then eventually they got to the late game where Morphling, who had a perfect game, played very well. And IO also felt like a good threat. And then their ability to go high ground was excellent against a semi-weak team fight and no bounty hunters. So they hit their target in the late game. It worked out.
That is definitely a standout for me, is that going into game 2, I feel like we got to make sure